Hello, good afternoon. This is David Sutter talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of October 11th through October 15th, 2021. Okay, and what I'll do here is, like always, I will look at all the major Forex currency pairs, okay, on a 30-minute time frame, okay, just so we can see what happened this past week, and then I will compare that to higher time frames such as the 4-hour daily and weekly charts. Okay, so to start off with, this past Friday was the non-farm payroll. Okay, and the US dollar had, well, I shall say, a 50-50, okay, as far as the performance of the unemployment and jobs rate. Right, there were probably about a fourth of the amount of jobs expected to be added back into the economy. Okay, so that part did not do so good, but the unemployment rate did drop a few points, which is a good aspect for the US dollar. So we did see the US dollar start to drop, okay, on Friday after the non-farm payroll. So that is an indicator that we're probably going to see a continuation. Also, US dollar has hit a lot of strong resistance lately. It did go up slightly this past week, especially the US dollar Japanese yen, but now we are starting to see the US dollar retreat and come back down. So we will see exactly what happens. I think we probably will be seeing the US dollar come down a lot more in the next couple weeks. Okay, just like I've already been saying in the past. So anyhow, let's start here with Euro USD. Okay, so with Euro USD, we see that we have most of the flat range of market where the price right here ended slightly below where it began. Right, the price was up here and dropped down to here. So what's going to happen this week is we see the price, we have a high here that is lower than this. Okay, and then this high here is slightly higher. So it's kind of more or less running a flat range of market. But if we look at the 4-hour chart, we see that the price is wanting to go up. Now I believe this repainted because I predicted that the Euro USD would be going up, but instead it has dropped even more. So but that's okay, because that's where we wanted to go long term anyhow. So where is it going to go this week? We might see the price drop some more, but right now, if we look at the daily chart, okay, here on the daily chart, we have a pretty strong support level, and this has not repainted, so it looks like it's going to be going up. Okay, now to really know that the price is going to go up, we need to draw a trend line like this, okay, going down. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to mark our resistance here. So we need the price to break above that trend line for this to be an official uptrend. This is on a daily chart, so it might take another week before we really see a clean break of this going up. Okay, I do not think that this week we will see a new uptrend emerge. Okay, but we will see a lot of sideways movement. So yes, you should be able to keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, and you should be able to both buy and sell. I feel that the price will be headed up, okay, this week. It'll be up and down, but overall the price should be headed up. Okay, this is a slight uptrend. That's what I predict this week. So yes, you should be able to both buy and sell. Just remember that the price will be going uphill slowly but surely. Let's look at Great British Pound versus the US dollar now. Okay, now with the Great British Pound versus US dollar, it's pretty much a flat range of market. The price did end higher than where it began, this, ever so slightly, but that's okay. That indicates that it's trying to force it, trying to work its way up. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we see that yes, the price is definitely going up. How high will it go up? We don't know, but we do have a high point right here, and that's where I predict it to go. Okay, if we look at the daily chart, we have a high here, high there. It could go much higher, which it probably will, we have 2 blue arrows in a row, so the next arrow should be a red arrow. Now, that does not mean that the price will go. We have a red arrow here, all the way at this point, but I do feel that we'll have a red arrow at least at this point, probably higher. On the 4-hour chart, we should get a red arrow here. Okay, no guarantee, but we should get a red arrow here, and then the price will come back down, and then eventually, probably in the next month or so, the price will escalate up even higher. Okay, and that's all dependent upon the US dollar. Okay, we do see this working its way down, but you know, everything that goes up must eventually come back up, and vice versa. Now, here is the big kicker. If we look at the weekly chart, okay, the weekly chart shows definitely be going down, and it has broken all different kinds of supports. So we mark this resistance right here, this high point. We see that it's a resistance slash support, but it has broken that as well. Okay, so the next resistance would be right about here, this high point, and that's where we are now. Okay, so I think, I don't know, it looks like a pretty strong support right now, at least on the weekly time frame, and so I feel that this will be going up for quite a while. Okay, probably in the next few weeks we should be seeing a slow and steady uptrend. Okay, so now we get that out of the way. What's going to happen this week? So you should be perfectly fine. If you look this past week, we saw pretty much a flat range of market. We're going to see a continuation of that with a slight uptrend. Okay, that's what I predict for this week. I feel that yes, this will be going up for the most of this week, and you should be able to find, you should be perfectly fine with buying and selling both. Okay, just keep in mind that this will be going up more than going down. Okay, so if you want to buy only, you could do that. Okay, just to play it safe. If you look here at Australian dollar versus the US dollar, okay, now here is an even better example of why we feel the price is going to be going up for the opposing USD pairs. Okay, for Australian dollar, Great British Pound, Euro. So we see the price ended higher, and it broke. Pretty much we had like a resistance right here that was broken. Okay, so now the price should be going up even more. If we look here on the 4-hour chart, we have a signal to sell. Okay, but if we look at the daily chart, we have a signal to buy. Okay, so I feel, for me personally, I feel like this will be going up more. Okay, and this 4-hour, this red arrow on the 4-hour most likely will repaint, because this is a very fresh, and I just got that funny feeling based on my experience using this indicator that this will go up even more. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Just because you have a red arrow does not mean the next one will be a blue. You could have a red arrow followed by a higher. Okay, that has happened in the past. All right, I was trying to show you, yeah, here we had 3 blue arrows in a row that kept going up. Okay, so kind of the same thing. That's not a real good example. Here we go, a red arrow followed by a much higher red arrow. Okay, so we could have the same thing here. We could have a red arrow followed by a higher red arrow. We don't know. Okay, what we do know is the past will at some point repeat itself. That's just a given in the Forex world. So keep that in mind. Okay, and we look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart shows to go down, but right now I'm more concerned about this daily chart going up. Okay, and we have a high point right here. That is where I predict the price to go. We're not going to see a huge increase, okay, because the weekly chart shows to go down. But if I zoom in a little bit so you can see this better, you see that high point there I just marked? So that would be a, you will not see another red arrow, okay, on the weekly chart, but you will see it on the daily chart, and that's what we're looking for. And then the price will eventually come back down. Yes, the long-term trend is bearish. The price will be going down, and that's ultimately what we want, but that's going to take 6 months or more. Okay, it's just been a long process. We see a lot of up and down movement in this range. A few thousand points up and down, and that's going to occur over the next few weeks, maybe even the next couple of months. I don't know. But in the short term, we're going to see a lot of range of markets, and for the time being, I feel that the price will continue to escalate up. So yes, keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. You should be safe to both buy and sell, but just always remember to wait until at least the London session on Monday before placing any trades. Okay, I forgot to mention that earlier, but it's okay. Make sure you give it time after the market open on Monday. Moving on to US dollar versus Swiss franc. Okay, now we see the price here ended slightly slightly lower than where it began, which is not much of an indication that it's going down, but see, all the high points are pretty much the same and the low points are kind of the same. It looks like it's going up, but the thing is, this last Friday was the non-farm payroll, and after the non-farm payroll, it just dropped. Okay, didn't drop significantly. Okay, it's just kind of riding sideways here, but we do know that the job report was kind of weak, so I don't feel like the US dollar is that strong right now. If we look at the 4-hour chart, okay, it shows to go down. All right, so this kind of falls in line with what we're seeing already. Been seeing for the last 2 weeks that this US dollar wants to go down. So I feel, for me personally, I feel that the price will be going down more. I don't know. I'm not a magic teller. I mean, fortune teller. I don't have a magic crystal ball. But the thing is, we look at what's going on in the world. Okay, we have our United States Congress constantly fighting, okay, over debt ceiling and the debt ceiling and the default. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. And the market crash, stock market crash. There's all kinds of YouTube videos and predictions about the stock market crashing. It hasn't really happened yet, but it could happen. Okay, if the stock market crashes, we're going to see the US dollar drop and tank for sure. All right, the whole US economy is going to drop. So I'm thinking that I don't think there's going to be like a huge crash like some of these analysts talk about, but I do think we're going to definitely see a drop because the US dollar is not that strong, and many of the countries and investors that invest in our country do not have a lot of faith right now in the US dollar. So yes, the US dollar is rebounding, but it's still in a fragile state. If we look here on the daily chart, we have 2 red arrows in a row. So next one should be a blue arrow. So again, like I've already stated in the past, I feel like this will be dropping. Okay, if we look at the weekly chart, however, it shows to go up, and it's been showing up for quite some time. We can mark this support right here. Okay, this would be a strong support on the weekly time frame. So that would be a good place for a target for this price to drop. If we go back to the 4-hour chart, we can kind of resize the chart a little bit and see that line, that trend line is where the price is headed. Okay, so it's going to take time. Look at the daily chart, you can see it even better, and it's going to take probably a few weeks for that price to drop all the way down to that level. But eventually it will happen. It's going to go up and down, up and down. It probably lands somewhere in here. And if we mark this support here, no, that's not good. But it's not going to drop. It's not going to drop that far. Maybe here. Here's a support here. Okay, so maybe right in here is where it's going to drop. I don't know. Either way, it's okay. Do count on this dropping. That is the bottom line right now. If we look at the weekly chart, yeah, so we see we had a lot of highs and lows. So we're going to see the price drop back down again and eventually go back up. For this price to go up and form another red arrow, it might take another year. Okay, you can count on that. In the long term, yes, the US dollar will be going up, but in the short term, it's going to be dropping. Okay, look here on the 1 hour chart, it shows that it wants to be going down. Okay, so we had this go up. Actually, you know what? Watch this. We could draw a support line like that. Wait for that to break, and then get into a sell trade. Okay. Look at that. See, 30-minute chart shows the sell. That's okay. If you want to play it safe, wait for this to break and then sell. But overall, I do feel that the US dollar will be dropping, and you should be perfectly fine to both buy and sell on a 30-minute time frame. Right now, the price is probably going to shoot back up in the opening and the beginning of the week. On Monday or Tuesday, the price should go up some, and then we see the price drop back down. I feel that we should see the price this week break this support line. Okay, so do get ready to sell the US dollar Swiss franc. Okay, but yeah, you can both buy and sell. We should see more of a range of market. Even if it breaks, it's going to come back up, and then eventually over the next few weeks we'll see the price steadily drop back down. Okay, moving on to US dollar versus Japanese yen. Okay, here we saw the price steadily going up. This was actually a shocker for me, and I know I got some people angry in my trade copy service because I have a sell trade open that where I thought it was going to go down, but unfortunately it shot up. But that's okay, because now we're at a pretty strong level of resistance. And if you look here on the 4 hour chart, okay, it broke this resistance right here. All right, but if we zoom out, okay, it's showing to go down the 4 hour, but it actually, this repainted and went up even higher. I know it did. And if you look here on the daily chart, it shows to go down as well, and you see that it slightly broke that resistance. But if we look here on the weekly chart, here is the big kicker. Okay, yes, it broke that resistance slightly, but that's not the only resistance. So we have a resistance right here on this candle, which seems like pretty feasible. Okay, we also have this one just ever so slightly higher. I can't even click on this right here. Okay, on this candle right here. So that means we still have, it could go up slightly higher. Go back to the 4 hour chart. Yes, this could repaint and this could go up slightly higher, but either way, it's already at a pretty strong level of resistance. So we should see the price start to drop here. We should see, I think all the US dollar pairs will be dropping. Okay, so we should see the US dollar drop back down. It's not going to be a massive drop. It's going to be a slow and steady decrease. All right, in the long term, yes, it's going to go up, but it's for the time being, probably the next few weeks, it's going to be dropping. If you look at the daily chart, it shows the drop, but the weekly chart, well, shit, the weekly chart shows the sell. Did not show that before. So weekly chart's been showing the buy for a long time. Wow, that's awesome. That's good news, actually. So yes, we have a pretty strong signal to sell, so you can count on this to be dropping for sure. All right, but anyways, what's going to happen this week is we're going to see mostly range of markets. Okay, we're going to see mostly range of markets, so you should be able to say, you should be perfectly fine if you buy and sell both using a 30-minute time frame. Right now it shows to sell, so I would say right now is a pretty good time to sell, although you need to wait until at least the London session on Monday, or even better, the US New York session on Monday, just to see what the US dollar is doing, okay, before you go place any trades. So anyhow, let's look at, last but not least, the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Here we see the price had definitely had a steady decline, or downhill momentum, right? Now, on Friday, the price shot down and started to go, and it's kind of riding sideways. So this was when we had the non-farm payroll that opened up, and the price did shoot down a little bit, came back up. So we don't, like I said, we have not seen a huge drop because of the non-farm payroll, and it's kind of 50-50. But the jobs report was definitely not as good as they predicted. Okay, so that's bad for the U.S. economy. So I don't think the U.S. dollar is going to be seeing much of a uptrend anytime soon. If you look here on the 4-hour chart, we have a strong signal to buy, but it's definitely not an uptrend. In order to make an uptrend, we need resistance to break. Okay, so we have some high points right here, and I would say that this is on a 4-hour chart. If this breaks by 3 or 4 candles, then good. All right, we can buy long term. If you look at the daily chart, it shows to sell. So do not count on this going up too much. Okay, weekly chart shows the buy, but the thing is, we had, watch this, we had a trend line going up here which broke, and that's not good. Okay, we had not like that. I'm gonna say like that. Yeah, like that. Okay, we had a support, but either way, it definitely broke that support line. So I feel this will be dropping. Okay, if you look here on the daily chart, you see it broke that support line. All right, so wow, now it looks like a really good time to sell the US dollar, Canadian dollar. All right, the 4-hour shows the buy. So what's going to happen is, and this pretty much, this always happens when you ever have a trend line break, it will break that trend line and then come back up. So right here is a support, and that support will break and form a resistance. Okay, like I always say in my videos. So this is going to go up and form a resistance and then eventually come back down. So first half of the week, I would say we probably will see this go back up some, and then by Wednesday or so, we see the price shoot back down. So meaning, overall, there's probably going to be a flat range of market. Okay, I don't think we're going to see a huge drop or gain. I do predict the price to go back up some and then back down again. So you should be perfectly fine if you both buy and sell using the 30-minute time frame. I don't see any reason why you should not be able to do that. Okay, so anyhow, if you have any questions at all about these predictions, or if you need me to analyze another currency pair, okay, do not hesitate to contact me on Facebook. Okay, I always say this, my personal link for my Facebook account is down below in the description of this video. So click on my Facebook, send me a message, and ask me to help you, and I'll be more than happy to help you. All right. So also there's a link for my private Facebook group which you can join as well. But anyhow, with that said, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Just please let me know how I can help you, and thank you for your time. Have a good day.